Hello everybody, I'm JayLeonardJ, and today I'm going to show you a whole new way to organize your guitar pedals. When it comes to putting together your pedal board, the order of pedals makes a huge difference, especially when you start stacking things together. And if you look on YouTube, you look on articles online, you'll notice that most people seem to agree on a pretty standardized order of pedals. You should put these kind of pedals in the beginning, these kind of pedals in the end, these kind of pedals in the middle kind of thing. And when I put together my first board, that's what I did. And I was pretty happy. It works really, really well. But there were a lot of sounds I just wasn't getting with that order. And certain things I heard on the radio, certain things I hear in my head. So what I started doing is I started mixing around with the order. And I kind of came up with a really neat order that really works for the sound that I like and the way that I play guitar. And I figured, for all of you that maybe you're not quite getting the sounds that you're looking for, my order might be a little bit of inspiration to help you find your sound. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you a pretty simplified pedal board of pedals. I got a Fender Telecaster with tone-specific pickups, and I'm going into this Benson Chimera. And let's go hear what this thing sounds like. Well, what you see here is pretty much the standard pedal layout. This is what most people like to do with their pedals. They like to start with the compressor up front to smooth off all the harsh edges of your tone and kind of prepare everything for the rest of the pedal board. After that, we go from a boost, which is going to be used to goose out your overdrive or distortion pedal. After that, we'll go into a modulation, into your delay, and finally, all that processing has a little bit of reverb to coat the entire sound of your guitar. Looking at this section, you pretty much see two halves. They're kind of meat and dirt over here, and then on this side is the modulation time-based effects, which we want to keep kind of clean. Well, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to move the order around a little bit. I'm going to start with the modulation. After the modulation, I'm going to go into a reverb. After the reverb, I'm going to go into my gain pedal. And then from there, I'm going to go compressor, booster, and then finally ending with my delay. All right, so here's my layout. Let's wire this all up and hear what we got. All right, the board is all wired up and ready to go. The only thing you'll notice is I switched out the Wampler spring reverb for this Sounds element because I accidentally broke the Wampler pedal when I was putting this together. My fault, but this pedal sounds incredible as well, so I'm not missing out on too much. I have my board all wired up. This is the Cali 76, it's my compressor. When you're gonna have a compressor after your gain pedals, you wanna make sure that one, it's very, very clean. It doesn't impart too much noise and sound and color. You want it to be quite transparent, quite natural sounding. Treat it almost like a compressor that you'd put in post-production in the mixer. That's why I have it so late. I just use it to add a subtle bit of compression, just even out the edges just a touch, and give me an overall volume boost, just so I'm pushing this amp a little bit more, even though I'm playing quite low output pickups. And this is what it sounds like. Lovely, lovely, lovely. When I want things to get nasty, I have my overdrive distortion, which is this rattler over here. This pedal is before the compressor, and the reason why is because if I put the compressor first, the compressor is going to add more saturation, more harmonics to my distortion. But the thing is, I like the sound of my distortion. I just want it to be more in your face, more bold, more loud, and by putting the compressor afterwards, I'm gonna get that. I'm gonna get that sound of my rattler, only just more bold and in your face. It's beautiful. Check this out. This is the rattler by itself. With the Cali 76. lovely, lovely stuff. And one perk about it is if I want my distortion tone to hide in the mix a little bit, all I have to do is just turn off my compression. I lose the volume boost, and I kind of flatten out the sound a little bit, and it just blends in a little bit better. I put the reverb before the distortion unit because I'm trying to capture the sound of plugging an old tabletop reverb unit into a cranked guitar amp. And what that does is the cranked amp is going to distort the reverb sound. If I have the reverb at the very end, my reverb's going to stay clean. But if I put it before the gain, it's going to get dirty and it's going to compress. And it just has a much more aggressive, nasty, affected sound. It sounds awesome. Next up is the boost pedal, and you can notice it's at almost the very, very end of my pedal board. I don't have it in front because I don't want to boost my distortion. I don't want to boost my compression. I want to boost my amp. I want this pedal. An amp has a lot more headroom. I could really slam the amp with the amount of volume, get a really big volume increase for solos, and keep the fundamental sound of my distortion and compression intact. That way I get just dynamics and touch sensitivity and just wonderful saturation that just sounds very, very natural. Check this out. Which brings me to the modulation. I put the modulation in the front. Why? Modulation always sounds good on clean tones, especially this Dimension C, but when I have the modulation after the gain and I turn on my gain box, it's too much modulation. It takes over my entire tone. All I hear is just swirling phasers and choruses. When I have it in front, it buries it a little bit. It just blends it into the mix and improves that lead sound. It just gives it a little bit of a quirky character to it. Look at Eddie Van Halen, David Gilmour. Those are guys that put modulations in front of their big distortion sounds, and it sounds heavenly. And that is the way I like to wire up my pedals. I hope you like it too. Well, that is it. That is the video. Thank you all so much for watching. A big thank you to Siren Pedals for helping me put this whole thing together. Please subscribe to the page if you haven't already. Ring the bell notification thingy so you can watch the premieres with me. Check out my links for the kinds of gear that I use. Check out my reviews on Patreon. Man, just so much stuff. My question for all of you out there is, do you have any specifically weird ways that you like to wire your pedal board, neat ordering and things like that? I'm curious to hear how you get your sound. That being said, I guess I'll see you all soon. Take care and goodbye.